Hello, and welcome to Leadership Development Skills. I'm your Professor John Harvey, and here we are in week 2. Congratulations for making it through. So the first week is always a rough one with people trying to get their funding in and getting their textbook. I really had very little issues with this class per se, but congratulations for making it through that, and I'm glad you guys are in this course. So this week you are working on chapter 2, and hopefully you're getting familiar enough to see that, chapter 1 is done, we're moving on, the material closes down, and then you're moving on to chapter 2. And so that's going to be kind of our process, one chapter a week, and you get to interact with the chapter stuff, and then kind of spend a good chunk in the discussion boards. So before I jump to the discussion boards, I did want to tell you those chapter assignments that I do in in the online component. I just want to caution you that you can only do them once. So if you do them over and over, I'm just grading the first attempt. And so that's my way of kind of pushing you to really pay attention and not just kind of blindly go through and try and guess through it. So if you look at your grade and you're like, hey, wait a second, I took it a second time and I got a much better grade. I'm just looking at that first attempt, and that's all I grade is that first attempt on those things. So you really want to pay attention. If you want to pause, take notes, all that kind of stuff. I find that if I put a little challenge to it like that, it'll help you in terms of paying more attention to the material as it's presented. So just be ready for that. Now with the discussion boards, with chapter 1, we were talking a lot about leadership. And chapter 1 is kind of an overview, so that you kind of take that for what it's worth. We're going to be going over this in more detail. I mean, it's the leadership development skills, so we're going to cover a lot of the stuff. But I wanted to talk with you a little bit about those discussion boards. So while you guys have done a great job kind of summarizing the video, I'm also looking for a lot of personal connection to it, and I'm okay with you taking it and kind of springboarding into what it made you think about or what it brought up in your mind. So yes, address the questions, but feel free to embellish or go beyond if this drums up some questions. So the discussion board award, for example, I'm going to give to Jen. Jen did a great job, and what I was excited about in reading Jen's post was that she said, man, I've managed 25 people. I really haven't thought about these questions before in terms of, how am I looking for change? Am I expecting this? And, did I ask these 3 questions myself? And, I really liked that self-reflection there. So the self-reflection award goes to Jen. Good job, Jen. But now the springboard off that. So talking about leadership, right off the bat, we know that leadership isn't always just something people are born into, right? I think people have an ability. Some people have kind of a certain mentality or social awareness or a certain set of skills that may allow them to naturally gravitate towards that. But that being said, anyone can be a leader if they really apply themselves to the material and try and learn from their mistakes and try and grow. Now, not everybody wants to be a leader. So I'll give you an example. I'm finding in an organization that I work with, there are people in there that just are very happy to not be in any sort of leadership position. They're very happy with that. They just want to do work, and they want to, tick and tie what they're doing. They may even feel creative in the work that they're doing. It's not like they're drones or anything like that. But that idea of setting, what's the future and what's the direction of the company, and are we bracing ourselves for change, and all that kind of stuff, they just don't care. They don't want to go there. That is an unknown area, and some people like to stay in the known. I find myself, I really enjoy being out in the chaos and bringing that chaos into order. So when something is like, there's no system in place, there's no order, there's no logic or whatever, like I thrive in that area. I'm like, great, okay, I can totally handle this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to grab these things and I'm going to combine this, and I'll make that work. And I love doing that. But my wife, for example, that is the area that she absolutely hates. So she will not go there. She's like, give me some rules, give me some guidance, give me some principles, give me some, context. I want all these things lined up before I will make a decision or I will do anything. And so this idea of just, chaos out there is just very uncomfortable for her. And so leadership, for both of us just means that we have to focus on different areas. And kind of find those strengths and find how you communicate, as well as how you're going to lead. So hopefully this helps you. It gives you some context. We're going to be talking about this a lot, and I'll just put a bug in your ear on this part. I think there's a big difference between a manager and a leader, and I think we're going to explore that in more detail. But the other thing I thought about was trying to come up with a group assignment where you guys all rotated between leadership positions, because some of you have been in high school or been out in the workforce and just really haven't had a whole lot of leadership opportunities. And so I'd be curious to know your thoughts on doing some sort of group assignment where you did have a leadership position and you did have to walk through that. I'm curious if that sounds interesting to you or horrifying to you. Seeing as how it's a leadership class, maybe I'll get varied responses, but maybe you'll all love it. So let me know, because I am very curious and I am open to doing some of that stuff and possibly this semester. So. All right, guys, with that, have a great week. Reach out if you need anything. I enjoy, our interactions here. And like I said, we're on to chapter 2. So, all right, take care, guys.